Next topic is categorization of testing tools. Different testing tools are used as a single tool may not cover the whole testing process. There are two types of testing techniques, namely static testing and dynamic testing. In static testing, mostly the functional specification, design specification, source code, etc. are verified to find any defects. There is no execution of the code. Hence, the static testing tools parse the program text, recognize various sentences, and detect the following as the sentences are well formed, inferences about the control flow of the program, and compute the set of all possible values for program data. There are different types of analysis performed by the static testing tools. First one is control flow analysis. The aim of this technique is to determine the execution order of the statements through a control structure. So this analysis detects loops with multiple exits and entry point and unreachable code. So this will make sure that the code is completely tested or verified. Next one is data use analysis. So here it checks whether the correct data types are being used. So it detects all types of data faults. In interface analysis, it detects all interface related defects. So it detects functions which are never declared, never called, or function results that are never used. In path analysis, it involves using the source code of a program to find a very possible executable path. It helps to determine all faults lying within a piece of code. It also reduces the redundant tests. It focuses attention on program logic. In dynamic testing, the code is executed to test the application. The inputs are provided by the user. The output from the application is verified against the expected result to see whether it's a pass or fail. So dynamic testing tools are used to capture these details. Basically, it will capture all the test results, and also it will give reports. Which the dynamic testing tools capture number of times a component or a line of code is executed. This helps the tester to understand the path coverage of their test cases. It also captures whether a decision point has branched in all directions. For example, if there is an if then else condition, it checks whether based on condition whether then block is executed as well as else block is executed. Also, it provides summary statistics which gives percentage of coverage and how many test cases are written and how much test objectives are covered. Testing activity tools are based on the testing activities in a particular phase of the SDLC. Testing activities can be categorized as reviews and inspections, test planning, test design and development, test execution and evaluation. Tools for review and inspection. These tools are used mainly for static analysis of the code, and it helps to understand the complexity of the code and thereby estimating the time and the resources required to complete the testing process. Also, code comprehension tools are used to understand the dependencies, program logic, view the graphical representation of the program, and to identify the dead code, that's the code not being used. These tools are extensively used by the inspection team in order to understand and learn the program logic. Tools for test planning. These tools are used for planning the testing activity. So these include templates for test plan documentation, test schedule and staffing estimates, and complexity analyzer. So various testing activities, which includes the static testing and dynamic testing activities like review, inspection, then unit testing, integration testing, system testing. All these activities are planned using this tool, and it involves the time required for testing each activity as well as the resources required to perform this testing. So these tools help in documentation of the test plan as well as to track the testing activity. The type of tools required for test design and development are test data generator and test case generator. As the application is being developed, there may not be sufficient data required to test the functional as well as performance testing. Hence, we need to generate test data based on the requirement and populate databases or test data files as the case to perform this kind of testing. So test data generator helps in generating data which is required to perform the test functional testing, data driven load testing or performance testing. The test case generator automates the procedure of generating the test cases using the information available in the requirement management tool. The requirement information is captured in the requirement management tool, and the test cases can be generated with the information provided by the test engineer regarding the previous failures and based on the knowledge of historical figures to generate test cases. Next one is tools required for test execution and evaluation. First one, capture playback tools. These tools record the events such as mouse click, keyboard strokes, display output, and generate a script which can be later used to test the system. So that way it will replay the script and the testing can be performed automatically. Coverage analysis tools. These tools automate the process of testing the software and provide a quantitative measure of coverage of the system being tested. And it helps in measuring the structural coverage, quantifying the complexity of the design, specify the parts of software which are not tested, measure the number of integration tests, and to see whether how many tests are executed and how many have not been executed. Memory testing tools helps to verify whether the application is using memory resources properly. It checks whether application is releasing the memory allocated or not, overwriting or overreading array bounds, or reading and using uninitialized memory. So it will help to reduce all the memory related defects. Test management tools try to cover most of the activities in the testing lifecycle, include planning, analysis, design, execution, capturing the defects, tracking defects. So it helps to simplify the entire testing lifecycle. Network testing tools are used to test applications running in the client-server environment. So these tools helps to identify the potential errors due to inter-platform connectivity. These tools monitor, measure, test and diagnose the performance across the entire network. And it helps to identify the performance of the server and the network, overall system performance, functionality across server, client and the network. Performance testing tools help in measuring the response time and load capabilities of a system, so which is an important factor in a real-time system This summarizes the variety of testing tools which are available to perform various testing activities.